So you just bought my detent set. First of all, thank you. But what is everything? How does it go on? And what are these? Let's take a look at the throttle and see how to install everything. So I think we're going to start out with these things. What are they? They're what I like to call thread savers. Basically, on the flap lever, you have threaded holes in this aluminum top. Over time, with the adjustable track, these threads may become dull and not bite your screw anymore. So the way this adjustable track works is it slides forward and backwards depending on what you want. Because this track slides back and forth, it puts a lot of strain on these screws. Therefore, the threads in the aluminum top may strip. As you can see, this thread is still good, but this one is not. This is because I've been messing with this a lot, and I don't want this to happen to you guys. These mount on the underside of this top plate. So to start the installation, all we need to do is remove these 6 screws. After you remove them, this whole face comes off. Now that all 6 screws are removed, open her up. You will be placing this piece in this corner and this piece right here. You'll notice that there's 2 nuts on the screws provided on the track. These nuts are going to go into the holes on the thread savers. So just take them off and slide them in. All right, so now that the nuts are off, all we're going to do is take them and slide them into these holes, just like this. You want to make sure that you put the point in so the flat sides are on the outside. Just like that. Next, we're just going to go ahead and slide them into these holes right here. So this one, in this orientation, you want to slide it in right there. And it should go down with very little resistance. Just make sure it's seated all the way. It's okay if it's wobbly. It's going to be taken care of with the screw anyways. This one may be a little harder because I had to get the geometry correct. It's not 100% correct, but I'm working on it. With this, just slides into here. There may be some resistance, so just push it down all the way to the bottom. All right, on the top of the throttle, we're going to install the adjustable track. Slide a screw in both sides and place it on the flap lever cover. It's going to be kind of tricky to find these holes, but do your best, you'll get them eventually. And we just want to tighten these down. Cool. So the point of this is so that we can slide this forward and backwards. And the idea here is not to have this so tight that you can't move this, but not to have it too loose that it wobbles everywhere. Now, to verify that the installation was successful, we can just zoom in here and you can see that the screw came all the way through. So because there's now a second set of threads, not only is it going to provide more grip on the screws, but also as a second point of contact that will not allow the screws to move so much. You'll notice here that when I slide this back and forth, there's hardly any movement laterally on these screws. All right, and now we're just going to close her back up again. We are done installing everything on the inside, and we'll get to the top side. All right, now the real fun begins. Let's start with the throttle detent. We'll bring our throttle all the way back, and you'll notice that there is a hole here. So with your throttle detent, you're just gonna screw that in right there. Again, you don't want to go too tight, just enough that it is snug and there's no movement. If you want to change the position of the throttle detent, just unscrew it enough so you can move the sled forward and backwards. So you can put it in the first position, second position, or third. Next, we're going to be looking at how to install the carriage for the flap lever detent. You can see the wear and tear on mine because I test every single one that goes out to make sure it fits. But all you're gonna do is hook one of these sides in and slide the other side to clip it in. So I'm gonna select this side first, hook it on, hold the lever, and apply some pressure, and it should clip right in. You can go ahead and test it, and it should work. So now would be a good time to demonstrate the 3-position track. So when the track is all the way to the right, this is going to be the 5-position track. If you just move it out a little more, this becomes the 3-position track. And when you move it, if you're going to be flying for a little bit, you might consider just tightening it just a little bit so it doesn't move. And then lastly, the smooth track, all the way to the left. The smooth axis is good for anything like radar elevation, a trim axis, a zoom if you want to, anything that requires a smooth axis. Next, we're going to take a look at installing the flap lever extension. It is at its smallest position right now, its shortest position at 22 millimeters. But we can unscrew this, and I'm going to make mine long at 44 millimeters. Tighten that down. There's a nut here, so when you tighten it down, it squeezes on this track, provides friction, and you can't move it. And this just slides right in here. There's a little hole and a little tab, and that goes into that hole. And this will clip right under here, just like that. And now you can move the entire lever with your thumb. Look at that, super easy. You got the full range of the axis available to you. And last, we've got our toggle switches. This specific one is a long curved one. This is going to go on the back here. This is a short notched switch. This goes right here. This is a short curved switch. This goes right here. And then the long notch switch goes right here. They're in this specific order because, as you can see with the throttle all the way back, this switch has a notch cut out so it can be flipped up. See that? And then these are easily accessible with your thumb. I notched this so that I can just slide past it. Even if that was there, slide past it. And that's it. You have everything installed on your Virtual throttle. Look at this. That's so cool. I love that. First stage, second stage, third stage. MiG 21. Mill power, first stage, second stage. Pretty much every other jet with an afterburner, full power, first stage. It even rolls through if you push hard enough.